Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Equestrian Tea Time. I am your host, Isabel Salas. I am in New Hampshire. My co-host is Emma Jenkinson. She's in New Mexico. And in this episode, we spoke to Daria Williams. She is in New Hope, Pennsylvania. Daria Williams is a lifetime horse person, having graduated Pony Club and then run her own boarding barn for 20 years. She recently completed an EAGALA 5-day course. I'm going to quote from their website. EAGALA stands for the Equine Assisted Growth and Learning Association, which is dedicated to revolutionizing mental health treatment by incorporating the profound and therapeutic presence of horses. So she's going to give us her feedback as a lifetime horse professional, what that program was like, and all the new and surprising and interesting things that she learned. If you're not familiar with the area where Daria lives, New Hope, Pennsylvania, it is a gorgeous place to visit. New Hope, Pennsylvania, and Lambertville, New Jersey straddle each other over the Delaware River. This is the area where George Washington had his famous Christmas Eve crossing of the Delaware. Then they were big industry towns in the 18th and 19th century, producing and exporting all kinds of goods. And they built a canal system. The Delaware Canal system there has lots of great parks. And New Hope turned into a very famous artist colony in the 1960s. So wonderful, cute little towns with great restaurants if you ever want to go and visit them. So here is our conversation with Daria. So you were studying for your exams. Did you go and take your exam yet, or?
I passed the exam. So yeah, exam is done. So and I did all my surveys, so I'm officially qualified. I should get the certification within 3 weeks.
Oh, cool beans.
Yeah.
All right. Is Emma, can you hear us? I don't see your face.
Yes,
there I see your face.
I can.
Emma is in Emma, this is Daria. Daria, this is Emma.
Hi.
Emma, Daria and I worked on her mother's farm, and then her farm is in New Jersey for like almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And Emma is in New Mexico, where it's hot and there's snakes.
It's 80 and windy. You guys have pouring rain in New Hampshire right now? Or
yes, it's about 74 degrees and raining, so not 106. It's very nice. No, we've had unreasonably, actually, it popped up on my Facebook feed. It was 100 degrees this time last year. We had a heat wave in the beginning of summer last year. It's been a high of 80 for like the past.
It's been glorious. Yeah. Well, last week was horrifying here. During the training, it was 90 something every day, but.
And yeah, the training was in Pennsylvania or over in?
No, Mercer County Equestrian Center.
All right. Do you want me to start with the question? Okay. So what drew you to the EAGALA program in the first place?
Well, I started working at the Carrier Clinic in Belmead, New Jersey, a little over 2 years ago. And I took a job there as the barn care coordinator. So I help take care of the animals, and I do like all the ordering. But in the meantime, part of the reason is to learn about equine assisted psychotherapy. So I've just been watching, and I've been helping with some groups and some of the corporate team building events. I basically decided that I really wanted to continue my education and become more part of the program and more part of the Carrier Clinic. Mm-hmm. And eventually I want to be able to start this program on the farm I live at now in New Hope, Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
And then luckily there was a training opening right down the road in Pennington, New Jersey, at the Mercer County Equestrian Center. So it just kind of all fell into place.
Nice. So they ran a certification program for the EAGALA. They ran a certification, a weekend? It was a
5-day program.
Oh,
so Wednesday through Saturday, 8:30 to 4:30. Gotcha. Sunday was just like 8:30 to 12:30. But it's a full-time program. So you have to be able to do that, but you need some prerequisites before. So you need about 6,000 hours to become an equine specialist, which is what I trained for. So that's part of the team for the EAGALA model. You need 6,000 hours of hands-on equine experience. It could be a mix of different things. It could be, but you need to really have a long-term background in the equine industry in some forms. And then you have to continue on with at least 20 hours of continuing education every year after that. So you need 40 hours within 2 years.
Gotcha.
And that could be a mix of different. Yeah.
Yes.
And then for the EAGALA model, when you do a therapy session, you need an equine specialist, which is what I got certified for, that works with a mental health technician to be able
Mhm.
to host one of these therapy sessions. So you work as a team, and then with the horses, which are part of the team. So we're all called co-facilitators.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
What surprised you the most about the horses, how the horses respond in a therapeutic setting? Because you're coming up from it as a horse professional, barn owner,
Yes.
rider,
And
groom.
it is interesting and more the stories I've heard because I haven't been able to do it enough. And what the Marion and Tracy, who were the instructors for the program, the
Mhm.
stories they've told are unbelievably intriguing. And especially it's when you know your own animals that you really can see a difference in their reaction to different clients. So once I have a team set up, it's going to be very intriguing to see how the horses react to different people compared to what they're going through.
Mhm.
So, because the horses, I mean, that's part of the reason why we have the horses is that they have an innate ability to read emotions and real feelings of people that we can't see as humans as well.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I've noticed it a little bit the carrier when we have groups and I watch the kids and sometimes the horses react to a different girl in the group and they'll spend more time with that person. Sometimes if there's a quieter person, they're scared. The goats, we have two goats, too many donkeys, and two horses. And sometimes the goats are interesting because if they see a girl standing by themselves, the goats will go talk to one of the girls.
So that's
Right.
very cool because that's what, the human's reaction to the animal is what trainers like Warwick Schiller and the emotional horsemanship and the clicker training people try to get people to start to recognize is the feedback that the animals give in the training process. But in traditional
Yeah.
training, it's one of the most difficult things to teach people is to read the feedback that the animals are giving you. So this program you have
Right.
is
And that's
based
one of
almost
the,
entirely.
yeah. And the training about that was um, exactly how to be able to do that and also to help relate it to the client to continue their story. So you're looking at external patterns and shifts of behavior of the animals and you're trying to relate it to their story, but you need that equine experience to kind of read what the animals are doing to just help aid with that kind of reaction. But it changes all the time. So you just have to, and you learn every time from that as well. You learn from the horses, you learn from the clients, and it goes back and forth. And
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
All right, cool. That leads well into my next question how is your professional background in the horse industry? Does that help you in this current training or are you learning things that go against the way you would have done things in the past? Or is this just an enhancement on stuff that you learned in the past?
For me, it's an enhancement only because I've
Okay.
done so many different things in the horse industry. And
Mhm.
from everything from pony club and the natural horsemanship stuff we worked with and starting young horses and dealing with I had a large boarding facility. So dealing with the different clients and interacting with so many other different horses where I've had more experience just from, interacting and dealing with so many different horses. I've dealt with so much of their behavior in different ways. This is kind of
Mhm.
enhancing it. And,
Gotcha.
dealing with lots of interesting people along the way too. So, but maybe in this way I can tie it all together. So I have, medical training, educational training, but life skills. And so this kind of will maybe tie it all together. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So what are you learning about horses that you didn't know before?
Because I've always been able to recognize that
Mhm.
horses have that extraordinary talent and that you can't
Mhm.
lie to them. And
Yes.
so I'm just more intrigued to watch the horses because they are really so smart. I
Mhm.
want to see them in different situations that I have never
Mhm.
seen before.
Yeah.
Like I've seen them more in a traditional sense, with clients and boarders and trainers and different levels of people. But to see them in this setting,
Mhm.
it's going to be very interesting.
No, I can imagine it would be interesting. I mean, for people who've got a lot of experience with horses, you learn over time. That's what reading horses means. You learn what their body language means
Yeah.
and their psychology. The tricky part is getting the people who work with them to be able to read their language too. And in the
Different one.
EAGALA
And it
model,
is,
yeah.
if you have a strong background in horses, you kind of have to let that go a little bit.
Mhm.
You have to kind of go back to the basics and just read their behavior. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
have to lose a little bit. And that's a little hard to accept in a way. And even
Mhm.
safety for a way. Because EAGALA is all on the ground. And
Mhm.
a lot of people that come to these therapy sessions have no experience with horses.
Mhm.
So, it's called an apostrophe S when you're bringing in your own um, self-awareness or worries, instead of just letting it happen and just go back to the basics, which is tough to do because horse people, we like to talk and we
Yes.
like to teach people about horses and we want to be able to like, no, don't touch their hind end or no, like you want to jump in too
Yeah.
much. But sometimes some of those mistakes the clients make actually teaches them more. So you have to
Yeah.
really kind of control your inner horsey control self and just sort of
Gotcha.
see what happens.
Yes, no, there have been I've seen online at times people pop up horse barn owners moderately horrified because they agreed to host some kind of on the ground equine facilitated work. And the person in charge will take people out into the field and there'll be people wandering around the field with the horses loose.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
the farm owner's not entirely sure they're thrilled with what they're seeing.
Yeah.
They're like,
Because it is slightly terrifying. Because you are kind of in charge of safety and you have to be able to stand back and watch everything that's going on. Um, but you have to kind of let it go. But you have to watch kids in every direction and see what's happening on. And the goats have horns and donkeys kick and horses bite. And so it's a lot. It's slightly terrifying. And yeah, even in the training, they took us out to this field. You don't know, even as an equine specialist, I don't know these horses. I don't know how
yeah.
safe they be. But
Oh
it's true.
yeah.
They're going to get stepped on. Somebody was sitting on the ground. You tell them to stand up. But, somebody was sitting on the grass and the horse crawls right up to their face. So do you jump it? Or, yeah, it'll be a learning experience to be able to balance all that. Yeah.
Oh, so that's part of your job as the equine person is that you're supposed to manage if people are doing something that's too dangerous and
Yes. Yes. And you're supposed to be able to. So you really have to, when you work with your other team member, your mental health technician,
Mhm.
health professional, you really need to have meetings with them and kind of set some goals and like have ways to communicate with clients like, okay, but you don't want to also, if they look like they're getting into a dangerous situation, you have to,
Mhm.
we kind of know this as horse people, especially Isabel. Like, if there's an emergency, you don't want to cause more stress and make it worse. If you bring your energy level up, it could
Mhm.
make the situation worse. So you have to be
Mhm.
able to have a way to communicate with the clients. Like, okay, if you've got an adult or somebody, and they keep, hitting the horse or something, you have to have a
Yeah.
constructive way to change their direction of thought or their behavior without escalating what's happening.
Yes.
Because if people get in panic mode, then the animals feel it too.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you need to really kind of make a plan. But in the horse world, the strangest things will happen when you can't expect it. So
Yeah.
things happen. But the best thing is to have like a plan of attack. You have to know your animals, trust them, as much as you can,
Mhm.
and go from there.
Like it was more exciting than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. No, well, if you think about it, I mean, if you
Yeah.
have, it depends on and there's so many different types of populations you can work with.
Yeah.
Uh, but if you have someone with severe trauma or you work with veterans or
Mm.
kids with autism, it brings a lot of variables into the situation with loose animals walking around. Yeah.
Yes. So you're leading us right into the next question, which was, has working alongside the mental health professionals changed how you think about horses?
Oh, well, not so much horses, but the people.
Okay.
So I even brought it up in the training, and another equine specialist agreed with me that to be able to really work with the mental health, plus I have a science brain. I like to learn. I need information. Other people probably can go more on the fly. But I want to
Mhm.
be able to have a healthier discussion with the mental health professionals to see what they're looking at. Actual, because they've learned body language more from humans. So,
Mhm.
how the human's brain work, all the different types of disorders, keywords, what they're looking for in the conversation of the client, their behavior, all those things, so that I can help read what the person's doing relating to the horses because it's all supposed to go back out towards the horses. Because
Yep.
normally, if you do therapy, you're just sitting in a room. So, the whole point of
Mhm.
this is to kind of change that perception to use the horses. So, that's why this teamwork mentality of it works a lot better. But I
Yep.
definitely need to learn more about humans, generally speaking.
Gotcha. No, so it sounds like this training, this 5-day training was just the beginning. This is just
Oh,
the
yeah. No, it's a
oh yeah.
continue. Yeah. No, there's so much more to do. Yes. Yeah.
Oh boy, wow. All right. So what are your goals now that you finished the 5-day course and you passed your test? What is the next step?
Well, the next step is to have meetings at the carrier to see where I can assist to expand the program there and maybe do it more days. Because the problem is at the carrier, too, we don't have a covered arena or a
Mhm.
covered area. So it's weather plays a part of if we can have enough sessions. Um, Availability of drivers. They always are short on mental health professionals, lack of staff. Sometimes if the kids are on lockdown. So but they want to incorporate the program more. So if they have me added onto the team plus Marianne, we can expand it more at the carrier and come up with new ideas of how to make that happen. And then start the program here at West End Farm in New Hope. But I still
Mhm.
have to I need to get insurance and liability release forms. I've talked to like two mental health professionals that can work with me, but I might have to find other ones.
Mhm.
But actually have three now. There are
Yep.
possibilities. And then, do all the advertising, marketing, website, Facebook page, all those
Yep.
logistics.
All that stuff.
And
Yes.
find animals. And find the minor
And
detail.
fun animals. Yes. Well, I mean, I imagine the animals wouldn't be too hard. There's always people
The
looking to
animals are going to be really easy. I've got plenty of
give
people that,
away
yeah.
the
But I
retirement.
also want to find animals that I want to work with too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can get a lot of free ones, but I want to be able to go meet them because I might have them for a lot of years. And I want to,
Yep.
since I do know horse personalities, I want to find horses that I find intriguing. They have to be friendly and safe to a certain extent, but also
Yep.
that I'm going to find intriguing to work with,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a little tough because I'm not going to be able to know them for that long, but
Yeah.
but we innately kind of get a sense, like,
Yeah.
some horses are not so interested in people, and some horses are very interested in people. And so you kind of need like a middle of the road horse,
Gotcha.
but a smarter, I don't know. But
Yes.
the universe, I'm sure, will send me the right animals. And worst
Oh.
comes to worst, if they don't, it can, a lot of the professionals say, like, you'll know if the horses like to do the work,
Mhm.
or if they're even in the mood that day, you could read them. So it'd be nice to have a mix of horses too. So you can change them out or I don't know. But
Yeah.
and if some don't work, I could maybe rehome them and find new ones. And yeah,
Yep. Yep. Gotcha. Well, I'd imagine there's so many horses in that area. The 100 in New Jersey, Bucks County, Pennsylvania,
yeah.
agglomeration of counties is so huge. You'd probably be able to
Well,
find
and it
horse
also
departments.
yeah, and it gives retired horses like a new purpose in life and
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
activity. And if they like it, instead of just sitting in a field doing nothing, then they get attention and something different. And so that's kind of fun.
Yeah, no, some retired horses, especially in that area, retired show horses, they're used to a lot of
I'm used to
activity.
a lot of activity, so they get
People
yeah,
taking them out and doing stuff. And when people try to retire them, sometimes they don't do well because
yeah.
they
No, they're
want
not happy. Yeah,
attention.
yeah.
they're used to attention. Cool. So that carrier you work at, that's a residential mental health
It's
facility for young folks?
residential for teenage girls. So some girls live there long term, but there's acute adults that only there sort of for a month.
Okay.
There's a couple different words. There's the elderly don't really come out, but there's also the detox rehab center. So those
Okay.
clients but they're adults, so they're just for 30 days as well.
Mm.
So we work with them. We work with the residential girls, the short-term girls, the acute adults, which are short-term. And now they just built a new, they're putting $30 million in the facility. And the new building just opened up like 2 weeks ago. It's going to start housing kids as young as 8. So
Wow.
long-term residents. So we have to have a lot of meetings about that because changing from teenagers to 8-year-olds is a whole nother story. So I'm not really sure how that's going to fall into
Yeah.
place, but that'll be down the road. So we might have to start having 8, 9, 10, and 11, and 12-year-olds at the barn.
Oh, wow. That'll be exciting.
And then, yes, that'll be different. I mean, teenage girls are hard enough, but
Yes.
8, 9-year-olds, and it's a mix of it's behavioral problems, it's trauma, it's suicidal teenagers, it's sex trafficking kids. It's a mix of every type of trauma, schizophrenic kids, borderline personality disorders. So when you're working with, it's everything. It covers the entire
Yeah.
gamut of
Oh, wow.
mental health issues. Yeah.
Okay. Emma said she has a question for you.
Sure.
Emma, if you want to pop up, I'll shut my video down. If you want to put your video on, Emma, we'll try to make it so we don't tax the internet.
Balance it out.
Yes.
My question was about the therapist that you work with. Do they have to be EAGALA certified to begin with, or do you lead them through that process and just find therapists if someone was wanting to open a program like that?
They have to be EAGALA certified. Yes, so they have to go through the training as well. And then you can also get dual certified. So say you're an equine specialist, but a lot of people that were at the training said that's very confusing because you're looking at the client at both lenses. So they're like, well, but it helps if you're a mental health therapist. It is good to have horse knowledge. That helps. But when you're in that team role, it's better to stay each in your own role instead of like overlapping. So
yeah, I could see that.
Yes, I could see where it helps either direction. But yeah, they have to get completely certified on their own, and then you can work together. Yeah.
Cool. And so do you just like look on a directory to try to find some in your area?
Yeah, they have on the EAGALA network, they have a really on the website, they have a good networking page. You can look for people that are certified, locations that already have programs set up. We also have networking phone calls that you can reach out to other people. Even have one in this Thursday. That's for Delaware. So, so you kind of network in that direction through the organization. They are very organized, and they will help you do business plans, models. Even internationally. So you can get a lot of information from their website. Everyone's very helpful. They're all trying to make everybody succeed and work together. And I've already talked to a few people around here that, the one mental health technician, she's not certified, but she's a horse person. So I'm sure she would want to do it. And she lives right around the corner. And then there's a girl, Sue, that used to live at my farm right above Isabeau for 7 years. And she was certified back in the day, but probably have to like get recertified. But she's interested. And there's a woman that was at the training with me. She kind of wants to be part of the program. She lives a little bit more towards the shore. So yeah, it's kind of, yeah.
Very cool. And then I'm sure it's unique for everybody who gets together to do this, but how do you guys split up the payment? Because there's like a therapist fee and then there's like a fee for you as a horse person.
Right. So what they're doing is if you come to someone's farm, the fee gets split 3 ways. So the mental health professional gets a third, the equine specialist gets a third, and then the barn gets a third. It looks like the going rate is between $250 to $300. Some people are doing it for an hour, some are doing 90 minutes. And then, but then it's different if you do groups. So the best way to raise more money is to do groups. Plus, you can also apply for a lot of grants. The girl that I met that runs a program, it's called Gateways in Malvern, PA. She does a lot more grant work money to get some more influx, but she also works with 2 different prisons, an inner city school in Philadelphia. So you can angle the program, in so many different directions. So the payments are, you could do individual sessions or you could do corporate team building. Marianne, that carrier, she does a lot of works with sports teams now for team building. So it's kind of all over the place. But generally speaking, it looks like 250 to 300 if it's an individual session. And the insurance has to go through the mental health. That's why you need the mental health therapist there. Insurance will only cover a percentage of it. So what you have to do is do like a pay top. And then you kind of split it, the copay, or their mental health could get paid back from insurance, split the rest. So it is a little complicated, but somehow
I know
it'll work
I've
out.
talked to therapists in the past and had other programs here who weren't doing EAGALA, but they wanted to bring a therapist in for equine assisted therapy, and these were their questions, like how do we split a fee, what's with the insurance, and so maybe if anybody's looking for that, EAGALA would be a great resource for them, huh?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. They'll help you with the business plan. They'll help you with liability release forms. And so that's what I'm going to kind of work on this week. I have Marianne that I work. So I'm lucky. And I told her this the other day, because a lot of people that go through this training, they're kind of off on their own. But I have a personal mentor that I see 2 days a week, and I can call her anytime.
That's
she's going to help me through a lot of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Before we let you go, was there anything else you wanted to tell folks about the program? Everybody I've talked to, it seems like it really is a needed therapy and a change, because everyone's sick of sitting in an office. They're sick of the same repetitive, they want, people need to be outside and do experiential therapy. And Mary, it's like not enough of it. And I'm just so surprised the responses. Even we had to do a practice where every person at the training had to be a client. And just seeing how much it touched these people. I mean, I don't know. People start break down crying because nobody gives themselves enough time to just like sit back and do self-care and kind of, just take a breath and kind of rethink what's all going through our crazy brains, because everybody is so busy. And kids nowadays, they don't get outside. They're stuck on screens and they're stuck in the house. So there's one guy that might do a curriculum with screen addicts. And so there just seems to be such a need for it. And I think the community around here is really going to accept it. And so I'm just kind of really excited to see where it goes. All right. I will let you go then. Emma, was there anything else you wanted to say before we go?
No, thanks for involving me.
Okay. Cool.
Nice to meet you, Emma.
I'm sorry.
Nice to meet you.
I should have said, said Emma. I kept thinking I should tell Emma I'm going to talk to Daria. And then 5 minutes beforehand, I sent her a notification. Oh, I'm going to talk to Daria in 5 minutes. So that she was able to go. Yeah, that's good. All right, cool. Thanks for meeting up to chat with me, ladies. Okay, bye.